Tēnā rā koutou katoa, nau mai haere mai ki tēnei kaupapa I tēnei pō. Ko Waio, he uri a hau no ngā iwi o tūhoi te arawa Ngāti Tūpari toa hoki. Ko Pōni Torongo pai tuki waho tōku ingoa, ko te kaiārahi o te ora auaha ahau. Kia ora everyone, welcome to this evening's webinar. We are going to be uplifting the amazing mahi for our whānau at home ground. We'll cross over to them in a second. I won't keep you too long. My function here this evening is to introduce you to these amazing wahine toa. But before we do that, I'm just going to settle us into a quick karakia, and then I'll hand it over to Jackie. Mihi noi tātou. Ko rangi, ko papa. Ka puta ko rongo, ko tāne mahuta, ko tangaroa, ko haumia tiki tiki, ko tūmātauenga, ko tāwhiri mātea. Tōkona te rangi ki runga, ko papa ki raro. Ka puta te ira tangata, ki te whai ao, ki te ao marama. E rongo, whakairia, ake ki runga, hui e tā iki e. Āmene. Rawe. Ka hoa atu te rākau ki Jackie nei. So I'm just going to hand over the rākau to Jackie from Home Ground, and I'll see you at the end to say ka kite and to tie us up. Kia ora, Jackie.
Kia ora, Bonnie. Thank you. I willingly received that rākau. We are here tonight to rep our incredible crew, which is Home Ground. We want to say a huge thanks for Bonnie supporting us through this process, and also to Ora Awaha and Auckland Live holding down the technical end of tonight's event. Also, just to acknowledge the land we're standing on, and to acknowledge the kaitiaki of that land, Te Atiawa and Ngāti Toa, and just mad respect and thanks for allowing us to do whatever we do on the land that we are standing on today in Te Whanganui Atara. We're going to talk about the house that Home Ground built, and we're a pretty new house. We've only been around for 3 years. So what we're going to do is start with a little bit of a kai koho, which is just a blessing to ground us and manifest what we want to create. And then we'll jump over to a collaboration. So we're going to start off with a deep breath. Haki roto. Haki waho. No mai nā hua. No mai nā pai. No mai kia nui. Kia hawe ai. Welcome all things that are good, welcome all things that have grown. May they be plentiful and abundant for this evening. So we're going to do a little bit of a collab presentation here. I'm just going to get Anna to speak to that beautiful collaboration, the house that Home Ground built.
Collaboration is a massive part of Home Ground because it's where we can spark creativity off each other. This collaboration will give you a taste of what we can offer, and it's between two of our community. There's one past participant, Roseanne, who is now amazingly part of our core crew. She's gone full circle. Roseanne is at home tonight, so we're spending our arohata, and we're so glad to have a piece of you here. The other half is a current participant, T, and so Roseanne wrote a poem about Home Ground and her experience within Home Ground. She wrote this with her family, and T is responding to that visually. So enjoy.
The foundation is built, called by the past, wrapped in the hope of tomorrow. The whare, it grows, wings spread, touching tips of shared sorrows, breaking falls, supporting walls. Each door bears a burden to be unlocked by keys of lost opportunity, closed shut, leading to new beginnings.
Welcome. Here we are. So that was a little bit of our magic, a little bit of the stuff that Home Ground builds, thanks to Roseanne and T for their contribution. You'll see all over the place we have a lot of things, we have a lot of stuff. We like sparkles, we like colour, we like to bring the magic. So tonight we're going to be talking about all sorts of different things, but it's really important you all know who's in the room. There's a lot of people not in the room with us, but we're here repping for Home Ground tonight. So I'm going to start. My name is Jackie Moyes. I'm the creative director of Home Ground. I'm also one of the lead facilitators, and I like to think of myself as an artist. My art forms are dance and writing, And my biggest art form really is creating access to the arts in the community. That's my passion, is sort of making these crazy projects where everybody gets to share a bit of that magic. I come from a long line of leavers. They left Ireland, they left Scotland, they left the UK, they left America, they ended up in New Zealand. I grew up around Oiraka in Auckland and also around Whānau. I've also travelled a lot, but now I'm based in Te Whanganui-a-Tara, and this is my main job. I'm really lucky to be employed by Homeground, and just to acknowledge that in my journey of creating this incredible project, it's been the people that have come with me along the way that have made it the magic that it is. So I'm standing here, but there's a massive crew behind me that has brought Homeground to the place it is now. So that's me, Jackie. You'll be hearing a lot from me tonight. So I will hand over to Anna.
Kia koutou. My name's Anna Wills. I'm going to introduce myself tonight using an exercise taught to us by Tupe Lualua, which is called Carving Your Name into the Space. I'll give a little explanation to that. My first symbol here is the Bible, which I need to acknowledge that played a big part in my upbringing, not so much now, but the name that I was gifted, Anna, is from the Bible, and the character Anna was a very generous woman who had nothing but gave everything. The first A for Anna is the symbol of the maunga, and this is the orongorongs, which I wake up to looking out at every morning. It also symbolises my love for nature and gardening. The first N is a nurturing symbol of mother and child. This symbolises my whānau, who I'm very close to. I've got 4 sisters and mum and dad who are all very close. My second N is also a nurturing mother and child symbol, and this is me this time and the next generation, my son, Nyakua, who is like a little koru shape down there symbolising growth. Whānau A is representing the mutaka maunga, and that's important to me, my strongera waiwais and wairarapa. And I finish by offering you the little I have, and in this context, that's to Homeground. Kia ora.
Oh, kia ora, Anna.
Tēnā tātou katoa, e mātakitaki mai ana i o koutou kāinga maha. Ko wai ahau, ko tāna rangi anua pāhina pohe tōku ingoa. He mokopuna ahau no ngā hapu o Ngāti Wairere, Ngāti Naho, me te whānau o tūwhakairiora, no te toka ānamu, tōku huai rangatira, tōku toru māua tamariki. Yeah, hey everyone. My name's Tana. I hail from the East Coast in Waikato. My wife is also from the East Coast, Tokomaru Bay. We have 3 children. My connection to Homeground is that I am the Wellbeing navigator, and yeah, so kia ora mai tātou katoa.
Kia ora, Tana.
Also, we've got a couple of people behind the scenes tonight. So we've got Phoebe, who's our Queen of Operations. She's going to be on the Facebook chat. If you want to contribute, which we really want you to contribute, because Homeground is all about participation, we'll be giving you a few prompts during the next hour, so you can contribute through the Facebook chat. Also, we've got the amazing Lisa, our Queen of Comms. She's over there behind the camera, running the world and kind of setting us for glory. Yeah. Right, I'm going to try not to sit still the whole time, otherwise, as Bornie said, we do look a little bit like nannies. So currently, if we're talking about houses, Homeground is actually homeless. We move between spaces, and we are currently delivering an online project, but we've been very blessed, and we're actually in Hopper Street right now, above the Hopper Street Fillaroo. So we're currently here, but always just shouting out for the things we need, manifesting a home for Homeground. But partly as well, other things we do, we believe that Homeground is, we create space for women in the justice system to pause, to nurture hope, to activate social change and create better lives for themselves and future generations. So we aim to empower communities through creative experiences and activate social change as we create better lives for ourselves and future generations. I think the main thing to, I guess, talk about is, I guess, what we do. What is the magic of Homeground? And we're broken into 3 kind of core projects, 2 in the community, 1 in Arohata Prison. We also run little outreaches. We go up to, we're kind of working on going up to the Manawatu, the Kapiti Coast, to Ranganui Kiwa up in Gisborne. And at the moment, really, we're also working on an online initiative because COVID. A few of us are recovering from COVID, so just bear with us as we get back into the groove of being around people without masks on. So part of our work is about being trauma informed. We're not going to go into too much detail on that. It's a big conversation because a lot of the things that we all have in common is trauma and grief. Those are some things that we don't sometimes get a chance to deal with, and things about the justice system as they really exacerbate some of the impacts of grief and trauma. So we try and create rituals. We try and create sort of predictability. We have healthy boundaries, for example. But one of the things when we come into a space is we like to carve out the space as in a show, but also we have this beautiful magic here, the tray of intentions. And I'm just going to get Anna to introduce this gorgeousness.
Would you like to hold?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to refer to the Homeground Handbook, which is the first resource we made for women in Arohata Prison. And in here we have a little explanation of what an intention is. An intention is an idea that you plan to carry out. If you mean something, it's an intention. Your goal, purpose, or aim is your intention. So every morning when we come into the space, we ask the wahine and we do it ourselves. We set an intention, and so it's a goal for a day, and it's also a great way to change the energy and bring the energy that you'd like to present that day.
Mm. And it might not sound that special, but actually I think we manifest magic in one of the ways. So we're just going to take you through a little process because Homeground has a few different processes. You can see around us here we've got a giant tree of expectations, which is all about how do we become active citizens and acknowledge what we bring to the space. We also have, as part of our rituals, everyone participates. This isn't like we're sitting around in a classroom. So if anyone has an intention they would like to offer out to us at Homeground, feel free to send it over to Phoebe there. One of the first things we do is light a candle. We bring the light into the space. Yes, this is a little bit witchy, but that's how we like to roll. Bring the light. It's also a great opportunity to smell something nice. So we have all these beautiful things going on. Today, when I come into the space and I think about, okay, what is my intention for Homeground? This little creature, the mantis. The mantis is really important to us. My company is actually called Praying Mantis Productions, and that was what I formed in order to start Homeground. The mantis is a reminder of the matriarch energy. For me, Homeground started through the matriarchs. So we honour our matriarchs here. Celia Lashley was my mentor for a long time. And when I was away with her daughter and we were planning what I would do with Homeground, I actually found this guy. And so ever since, Praying Mantis has been a reminder for me of matriarch. So I'm going to put that on the intentions because I want to remind myself of the matriarchal power. Who would like to go next?
I can go next. The symbol for my intention is right here in my ear. I have a beautiful earring here that is gifted to me by my dear friend and big boss, Lady Jackie, and Praying Mantis. This very cleverly and beautifully says, fuck what they say. And I love the fact that it is a strong message presented really beautifully. It speaks to me of authenticity and integrity and standing up for what you believe in. So I shall put this in the tray of intention.
And my intention today is to stay grounded with this toki. This toki was created during one of our projects during Clay Week, and my intention with that is to stay grounded in my knowledge and to trust my voice, and that everything will just right.
When we were gifted this amazing opportunity to share our mahi, you know, it's always really, really hard to know what people would be interested in. And, you know, like anyone, hey, we do this magic, but it's about the people around us. It's not often us just sitting talking. It's a participatory thing. So like I say, feel free to share if you would like us to put anything on the tray. Yeah, you can go through Phoebe. So big one, which we almost always have on the tray, is this little fella, fellas, actually. This is our unicorn. This represents one of our amazing founders, Anita Grafton. She was one of the original homegrown team. She passed away in 2020. And so she always brought the sparkle. You couldn't do anything without Anita bringing the sparkle. She was our clinical director at the time. And so this is for Anita. We put her on the tray because she reminds us to stay sparkly and to find and celebrate the wins. That was, you know, that was one of her intentions that she's held tight to. So that is our tray of intentions. It's a really important part of our practice because it gives us a chance half an hour in the morning to check in, to see where we're at, to tell the truth. We do a lot of our work in circle, and we have real conversations happen over the cup of tea policy. So what we are going to do now is we're actually going to talk to you about our objectives.
Hang on, got one intention here. We have an intention to try not to be a dragon.
Oh, not to be a dragon. Who saw the dragon? Oh, that's someone that knows us.
That's Sean.
Try not to be a dragon. I love it. Shannon, I'm going to do a bit of ice bear then. We'll do a bit of ice bear to, you know, carve out some space, the opposite of a dragon. That's great.
Thanks, Shan.
Cool. So another ritual we have with our beautiful mahi is we talk about our objectives. It's really important that we figure out each morning when we get together what you want to get from the day. So that might be the artists, that's the participants, that's us. That way we kind of know what's going on. So Tana very handily organised our objectives before. And so what we're going to do is we're going to talk through today, we're going to talk through some of our what makes us magic. We're going to talk through why the community is important. We're also going to talk about do you want to hold it up? Oh, yes. We're going to do a call to action because, you know, what's anything without a call to action and social change? We're also going to talk a little bit about our collaboration. Then we're going to do a Q&A for all those wonderful people out there. And then we're going to talk about the importance of reflection through our lay. Okay. Is there anything anyone wants to add? Because you can also shout out with a message, let us know so that we can add it to our objectives. Okay, right. Magic. I'm going to grab a beautiful poster. Again, with matriarchs, you know, we've got a lot of heroes. This is our beautiful Celia Lashley, who believed every child is born pure and filled with their own particular brand of magic. The reason it was so important, I think, for us is that as women, particularly women that have gone through, you know, a significant amount of trauma, sometimes that is a common thing with a homegrown crew, we sometimes lose our magic. You know, we forget how to look after ourselves. We forget what makes us special. We forget to trust the process and trust our intuition. So when Cess sort of, I guess when she said that, she wrote it in her books, this was a big inspiration for me that it took me a while because, you know, to find my magic again after things that happen, after things go wrong, how do you find that magic again? So riffing on this beautiful board, it's hard for us to create a space where we can reflect all of the women's words of all the women we work with and their magic. But I thought one of the ways to doing that is to, I'm going to read some quotes. Actually, I'm going to get Anna to read a quote because I've been talking quite a lot. But we have some core guiding principles, and within our magic, we talk a lot about trusting the process, because sometimes we can get so caught up in our head we forget how to do that and we don't make space for the magic. And homegrown is all about creating space for the magic. Yeah.
And is it just to there, or would you like me?
Just there's the magic.
Okay. Homegrown provides a strong foundation for expressing and exploring one's creativity, which sometimes is undetectable or unnoticeable in the day-to-day program. In stating that, The unknown is that I recognize the changes in myself, especially in being able to identify who I am, what I want out of life, my value and purpose, but I do not understand what has occurred to make this happen. Hence the reason I say that the strong foundation is undetectable or unnoticeable to the participant. The magic just seems to happen. There is not one activity, conversation, art piece, writing or interaction that I can pinpoint as the reason for some instant, others gradual changes that I have witnessed within myself. I believe the way the program is planned and delivered is where the magic is brewed. Engaging in and with the possibilities, artists and women, is the birth of that magic. More than anything, I now realise the importance of trusting the creative process.
Yeah. So what do you reckon, Anna? What's your magic?
Well, funnily, I have also dug up a quote, which for me sort of sums up a big part of Homeground's magic. Homeground brought back our humanity. You came in as people and spoke to us as people. It's a simple thing, but it's not, because it never happens. This was written by a participant in Rua, so in Arohata Prison. And that to me speaks to our sort of mantra of using small acts of resistance. For me personally, a big way that I like to do this is to wear bright colours in a grey space. The prison has grey walls, grey uniforms, grey looking food. Everything is it feels weighty, and so to bring a pop of colour is a very, very simple way to say that to bring humanity to the space. Yeah, I think that's, it's also
Some of the magic.
It's also some of the magic. Yeah, so I think humanity, we bring colour, we bring our personalities, we bring tears, we bring laughter, and we bring stories. And I think that because we have these healthy boundaries that we set in place, that means that it's safe for us to bring a lot of ourselves to our projects.
Yeah, and I think people have a funny idea about incarceration. Let's just be clear that we believe that prisons aren't the answer. I mean, I think that's a clear thing with Homeground. I don't think of us as coming in and delivering an arts program. I feel like we come in and we're just being human, and that's the gift. So it's not that we really bring anything special away. It's just we're being human in a space which is really, really tough to exist in. And I think, like I was saying, we created Homeground to respond to all of the societal issues that end up in there, whether it's racism, inequity, sexism, trauma, grief. Those things need to be addressed. You can't house people in a space and expect it will get better. Now, there's a lot of beautiful things weirdly happening inside prisons, and many women have said to us that if it wasn't for prison, they don't know if they would have survived. And that's legit too. But I guess what we're saying is that if we can bring a bit of space, authenticity and magic, that's going to help that journey a lot more. So we have some beautiful, beautiful quotes. Last year during Matariki, we went in and Arohata holds a pretty epic concert. Everyone contributes from the guards to the women to people donating their time. And so we also helped. We brought in friends and whānau, put on a concert, had some beautiful songs, and we got some great feedback. Since the concert, the vibe and the wings have changed. It was humanising for all the women. It included them in the process. And that, I guess, is really a big part of our mahi is everyone has to be involved. It's a neutral space. We collaborate, we put in ideas, and we pull out creativity. So that's what we do when we're working in Arohata Prison. That, as Anna mentioned, we have a Homeground handbook. You can go onto our website and see these things. We work with the women to create the book they want to see inside. So whether it's, how not to gain 10 kgs in prison, or whether it's about how to access services or get whānau to be able to connect with you easier, this is one of the projects that we do. We have two other projects. We have Tahi and Toru as well. And a big part of our work is that we collaborate with artists. We work with the women to create these pieces of magic that address some of the challenges women are faced in the justice system. Do you like to talk to magic?
Magic. Yeah, the magic that I think that I bring to the home ground space, well, that I have brought in one instance, is over to our tāpeka collaboration. So in this, our participants, excuse me, our participants each were able to impart their mauri into a string and adorn it how they saw fit. The majority chose to put their family and things most important to them and impart their energy and good vibes to it. In this process, through collaboration and community connection, we were able to weave these together with the help of my sister. And she was able to help us collaborate all our mauri strings into one piece. So this was for Project Toru, and it's just a beautiful example of what's possible through collaboration and community connection. And the idea for collaboration was by one of our participants who actually wanted to do a collage, and this is what came from that idea of a collage. So inspirational.
Yeah. Awesome. Musical cheers.
So when we talk about magic and the wisdom of our lived experience, that's another one of our guiding principles, is that it's really important that we honour our lived experience, that we don't diminish it, that we don't regret it, because sometimes when you live big lives, you've got big stories. So I wouldn't say we tell a lot of stories. I think we're quite careful about sort of what we discuss in our space, because we're very aware that there is a weight to those shared stories. But what we do have is we really honour the wisdom of a lived experience. So I'm just going to read another quote from a woman here. Shared stories and experiences amongst the collective that help to decipher and navigate the challenges of everyday life. It is these stories that are also an inspiration for my writing, as some of these shared experiences are part of my own story. The ability to use my own insight to help another woman, mother, sister, niece, daughter, grandmother is gratifying. What is my complexity is sometimes others' simplicity, and vice versa. Our lives are constantly advised by experiences, past and present. What I previously saw as my failure is now my learned success. I'm not alone with the wisdom of many. And I think, we find that in the circle when we're working, women have all the answers. They're the experts. Hey, if you know, yeah.
That's why this is quite difficult, because the wairua of the energy of the circle and the women that we work with is what fuels us, Yeah. So this is a different experience to that.
So we've got reminders of all of our courage. Yeah.
I also think we can't underestimate literally wairua and the impact that COVID has had on our practice. So what is based around face-to-face, it's based around manaakitanga. You come into our space, we have a cup of tea, there's always kai on the table. Everyone contributes, it's like a really amazing experience to be there. Normally there'd be sort of around 10 women on the program, and there'd be any number of artists. We've got a core crew, but then we bring in different artists to weave in their magic. So, shout out to our incredible artists that we work with. There's Selena, who made this incredible tāpeka. It's Tana's sister. We've got the incredible Nathan from Of Body. Do you want to just quickly talk about that magic?
That magic collab. Nathan is a dear friend, and he's a multidisciplinary artist, works in lots of different fields. But for us, he has collaborated making a particular scent. And so we thought that this would be a great graduation gift for our last Project Toru. And I spoke to Nathan about the kaupapa of home ground and how Project Toru had gone for us, and asked him for his input, what he thought he could conjure up in a scent. And he sat for a moment, and the first thing that came to his head was tōtara, a grounding scent. And that blew my mind, because it had been like an ongoing theme throughout Toru is the tōtara. So each of our participants got sent out this beautiful little custom-made home ground scent.
I know, if only you could smell it.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful.
Let me try.
Oh.
Oh no,
don't. Yeah, but that's some of the magic. Like if we didn't have those things to spark off, and if we didn't acknowledge, you know, our incredible community, we wouldn't have anything.
And that also just is sparking that I think that's part of our magic and humanity, as this participant said, is that we make mistakes in the space.
Yeah,
and we're accountable for them. And and that's another part of ourselves that we are bringing.
Yeah,
and it means
authenticity. Authenticity. We should have big t-shirts with authentic.
And it gives our participants it gives them permission to bring them their whole selves as well. So,
well, we hope it does.
Sorry about the phone, please.
I think too, when we're on projects, you know, they last for 3 weeks at a time, and they're quite intensive. We form a bit of a community. And something in my other work I've always wondered about is, you know, what happens after you leave though, right? What happens when the community goes away from the space and suddenly there's that gap in your day and you're not turning up for the cup of tea and the conversation? And so we every project we learn, you know, it's only been going for 3 years. And like I said, the first project happened in 2019. It was kahukura. It was a pilot project where we all got together in a room for a couple of weeks and figured out what works, what's relevant, what's engaging. Now, that's a very different project to the one we're delivering at the moment. Anne is actually our online facilitator as well as our creative producer. And she has just designed us this incredible magic classroom.
Yeah, let's show them.
And so it's literally called the Magic Classroom. And COVID is tough. Just shout out to all you people out there, dealing with the reality of COVID. So we've had to design an online classroom thanks to the Ministry of Culture and Heritage. They've backed us to do this.
And this is a digital version of us bringing our magic into the space. So each of special things about home ground, for example, our tāpeka is there on the wall. And if you were in a real life computer, you could click on that and it would take you to some info about the story of the tāpeka. If you click on the radio, it takes you to a home ground Spotify playlist.
Oh yeah, check us out on Spotify.
Check us out on Spotify. Shut up. Each of the symbols in here represents an important part of home ground, and so this is a chance for our participants through a computer screen to try and feel some of our mauri and magic.
And so as we grow and we get bigger, we our original supporters, the ones that saw the magic in the first place, was actually the New Horizons Women's Trust. They awarded me the Sonia Davies Peace Award, and it was our grounding $4,000 that we started this project with. And Heather and Brian Main, who donated some money and actually literally put the door handle on the door, because we didn't have a door handle at that point. So Creative New Zealand has backed us hard. They've funded us to bring the magic now. This is the 3rd year. They've been our core funder. And the Department of Corrections has madly stepped up too and really support us, particularly when working in the prison space. I
feel like that's quite a nice segue into community.
I love it. So go community.
The flow.
I'm going to hold it for you.
One of the most vital ways we sustain ourselves is by building a community of resistance, places where we know we are not alone. And that's by the beautiful Bell Hooks. Oh yeah, that's probably right.
So community, who's our community?
Our community is us. It's our crew who are behind the scenes. Our community is our artists.
It's our sparkly unicorn all the way in here. That's repping you, giant ones. Yeah.
Our community are people that have passed on, that are no longer here with us.
It's the whānau of our sparkly unicorn participants, who also often help inform the artworks that we end up with. It's our collaborators, it's funders.
Yeah, now community is growing. Our mission for 2022, she's our statistics person, so I can't remember the exact numbers. I don't know. But lots of people have worked with us over the year. And we were really lucky in that in the Care Fund, NCH has funded us to sort of expand and get to know our community a bit more and actually go out into different communities and deliver 3-day foundation workshops. And so if you do see us, we'll be coming to a town near you at the end of the year in the Lower North region. Shout out for Homeground, let any woman know. We have free creativity and wellbeing workshop. You can sign on online or you can come and hang out with us in person, COVID willing. But our community is really important. And this, you know, the experience of incarceration, the lack of ability to talk about it, or for the kids to talk about it, you know, for kids to just say, hey, this is what I'm going through right now. One of my whānau's inside and the visits are really scary. Anything like that. I think we need to be having these conversations more. And until we tell these stories better, until we actually have these conversations, the world's not going to change because no one's understanding what people are going through. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Anyone else before I start?
I want to further your that Homeground is growing our community, and particularly with the opportunity of having an online classroom, we're physically growing our community throughout Aotearoa. This time in Project Tahi, we have participants in Auckland, in Cambridge, Te Aroha, and in Wellington. And so that's just a really practical, tangible way that we can be spreading our work and including wahine throughout Aotearoa.
Mm. Yeah, we only work in Arohata Prison. That's the only prison we actively work in right now because that's our local. You know, but of course many women go into that space and then are sent to all sorts of different areas. So we hope that with our one project inside, we've become a bit of a bridge between the prison and the community, and vice versa actually for those that end up back inside. We want to be there no matter what. What about community? Got stuff to say on community, Tana? Strength through connectedness.
Yeah. Nothing that you didn't already cover there.
That was one of our quotes.
One thing that we've actually done for our community recently is this premature?
Oh my gosh, we can launch our community handbook. This is totally, we actually literally picked this up from the printer today. So this is our first community handbook. It's very exciting. Tana, do you want to show? You can show some.
Yeah, the beautiful cover artwork there. Shout out to the Dream Girls Collective.
Yeah, we this was a mad long collaboration because of COVID too. Mm-hmm. So we had the incredible Dream Girls Collective, and what we did is over our 2021, wasn't it? Was it last year already?
Yes.
Yeah. We actually wrote all of this while we were on project, and all of this art was pretty much done on that project. And so what we do is we actually come up with different things. So for example, outside advice from the inside. And this was inspired from really, you know, one of those stories where you just hear about a woman waiting to go home, not knowing if she can pick up the kids, and just those dysfunctions in the justice system that need to be addressed. And I guess in a way, like, this is part of our advocacy, you know, is actually having the ability to tell these stories or to give information that's actually useful. I do think we did a good job. What do you think, Anna? Did we do a good job?
Good job. I do, but I think that the woman will be able to tell us the truth. They'll know. Yeah.
We'll get some mean feedback on this. Yeah.
Luckily, it's made with the women, so we can trust that they will actually.
Yeah. So the woman wrote the content, so it's not like we're out there on our own. Actually, yeah. Actually, speaking about that, we haven't talked about nothing about us without us, have we? Did we? Tell me. Does anyone remember? Have I talked about nothing about us without us?
Not yet.
One of our guiding principles is nothing about us without us. So we are nothing without people that have experience of the justice system, right? That is our foundation. Now, one of our incredible participants wrote this beautiful, beautiful statement for us. Nothing about us without us. This is incredibly powerful, especially when my incarceration was everything about you through us. The transition from being directed to having to figure it out for yourself can be daunting, but knowing that there is a support safety net in place allows me to regain some of the power I lost during my time. Through Homeground, I am consulted before anything happens where appropriate. When I create, I am asked what I want to do with my work and never pressured to share it. I have options as to whether I share printed copies, post social media images of them, or even have them available to read. All decisions about my work are in consultation with me. Just as in the group, our individual daily objectives are captured and assessed at the end of each day. We're not told that these things have to happen. We make those decisions. And I think that's a really important part of our community, is that we forget sometimes that women are the experts and they actually need to be active decision makers in everything, particularly women with children. Again, support the mums. Support the mums and everything will be much better.
One great piece of feedback that we got recently is that one of the participants, her nieces and nephews all say, oh, I know I've got to go to this auntie's house because that's a creative house. That's just such an awesome example of her sharing the love and sharing the creativity.
Like if you've got a table and that table is covered in beautiful art equipment, that's what you're going to be doing around the table. And part of our mahi is to encourage whānau to be creative, because it actually matters. And we get told so much in school that it's not important. We forget that we're doing, Anywho,
that's another exciting thing about being online, is that although we're missing a physical space where we can all get together and do our art together, that means that we were able to send out material packs to our participants. So we sent them out clay, we sent them out pastels, we sent them out this
beautiful collab,
workbook. And that means that it is way more participatory for their whānau. And we're seeing, just today, we saw a beautiful collaboration between one of our participants and her daughter, which was beautiful, magic. It was magic. And so, should I give a little shuffle through it?
Yeah, I feel like we're doing a little bit of show and tell, but I'm sure everybody at home loves us showing all our things. COVID is a different time for us, eh?
It's through connectedness, though, too, because you're giving access to the whānau that, the art supplies and things that they may not otherwise have access to make that a part of their normal creative everyday lives. So
this cover, shout out to T, who was visual of the collaboration earlier today. This is beautiful. This artwork is called Roimata, and that was done on Project Toru. This workbook here is designed for the online participants to be able to doodle away at their own leisure. It's got opens with our kaikoho, and in here we have space for women to do their own creativity. There's inspiration from previous artworks. There's resources about well-being.
There's a very limited edition, by the way. They're not available in a store near you. This was a very one-off collaboration that Anna worked with 5EVA to create. It's a trial process.
But this is these are some of the worksheets that they have available to them. And so the idea is that we have 2 classes a day online, a morning check-in and an afternoon check-in. We deliver some creative tasks for them, and they also have this book that they can spend all day and all night, if they have so much time, to fill up with their creative goodness.
Yes. So I think we've covered community. I think we've covered community pretty well there. Well, I'm going to just throw something out here around our artists, because I think for us the end game with Homeground is that, yes, we start here, right? We welcome people into the space, but women that are participating become our mentors, our artists, our peer mentors, our kaitiaki. They step up and become creative advisors. And so there's that whole journey going on. It's really important for the mana of Homeground to know that that is an opportunity. That's what we want to happen. The long game is that there's a group of incredibly inspired women that are leading Homeground, that are changing the world. But we also, with our artists, we have an incredible partnership with Java Dance Theatre. And this just gives you an idea of how intense our collaborations are, which are quite amazing. And this latest one, basically, the women are able to create a piece of art on our project. They then hand it over to Java Dance Theatre. And Sasha, who's the creative director for Java, will receive those pieces with an incredible dancer called Ella and an amazing musician called Tristan. And they will take that and they'll interpret it and intuit what that is. And then they'll literally, which was what we had today, do a live performance of your own personal artwork. And it's quite life-changing. I had a COVID poem done today.
I like that. It sounds like you had your palm read.
I did. It was like, it's a bit of nature. It's a bit of nature. But they, that's the kind of gifts that the artists bring as well. And I think it's really important for us to learn how what we put out into the world is received and the creativity that it creates in others. Amazing responses.
Yeah, spark and creativity. It's it's in that particular collaboration, responded. So they did some provocations, and then we responded, and then they responded, and so it was,
and so on. Amazing. So this.
Sorry. You have to act as if it were possible to radically transform the world, and you have to do it all the time.
Angela Davis. another queen. Another amazing woman. So it's hard, you know, it's hard to do that all the time. And I think, you know, when Homeground started, in my slight naivety, I think I was all like, we're going to be, you know, radically changing the world in 6 months. This is going to change everything. And then I realised that, oh, actually, we're all quite tired. And now COVID's come, like, wow, we're really tired. But the call to action, you know, we have a really strong way that we want to advocate. We want to make changes that humanise, I guess, ourselves, you know, it's a journey. And we, you know, we I guess, you talk, I'm talking too much.
Well,
someone else talk.
I think when I think of Homeground's particular brand of advocacy, we deal right from like the micro to the macro. So I'll talk macro a bit if you want to pick up micro in it, but one macro way that we advocated earlier this year, we were part of the Fringe Festival. We presented some of our films that we've made in collaboration 2 years ago, in 2019. We showed them at a cinema, and the public were able to come and watch them for free. At the launch of this, we did a live to air, and we had Maraba Davidson and Jan Logie, politicians we're big supporters of. They came onto the live stream and they were feeding back to us, and they had the opportunity to see from the wahine in the space to actually have a corridor and talk about needs. And like that's an example of us working right at the top level of sharing our voices with people who make decisions.
Yeah, and I think on a micro kind of level, you know, we can create a situation where at the end of each project we do a presentation where you can invite friends, whānau, your probation officer, and don't take for granted that relationship with the probation officer, because often that is whānau, it is friends, you know, there's a closeness there, but they can come into our space and they can hear directly from people about how this journey is going for them and what amazing thing they've made over the last couple of weeks. And it's a really important opportunity, but it's also a chance to advocate around things like transport or the things like how they are treated or how they meet their conditions. You know, it's a really special time where we can actually be honest with each other in a safe space. So it's kind of like we don't need to be standing up on big steps yelling from the rooftops. You know, it's about that small garden that we're growing. If our garden is beautiful, then other people want to grow the same garden. Tana, anything to add to that before we...
Wow, how could I say anything better than that?
Oh, you say so much. So much. Radically transform. How are you radically transforming?
I guess repetition is the key to remembrance, and it's the key, like, repetition makes better. What's that word? Practice makes better. So the more we do it, the more it will have that radical effect and transform the world.
Yeah, transform the world. So given that we are, you know, wrapping up a little, we would like to just check off with our objectives and see how we're going there. So I think we've talked about Magic Community, just done a quick call to action. If there's any questions, let us know. Probably lifting it up is a good idea. And collaboration obviously is a big part of our work. Now we are at the magical moment of the Q&A, but we're also aware that this will be a live to air that is stored on YouTube, I do believe, so you can watch it later to learn more if you want to. I'm going to just throw out another quote which we had from an artist about collaboration, because I think there was some beautiful things that the artist has said to us about their experience of working with us, because this is an exchange with Homeground. It's not just a one-way street. In a tangible and transformative way, Homeground is delivering for one of Aotearoa's most marginalised group. At the same time, the Homeground programs deepen artists' understanding of trauma-informed practice and how to communicate with and apply our art. So each year we have an artist hui, and this year we had a 3-day one where we bring everyone together. The first day we were doing facilitation skills, because you can be the best artist in the world, but if you can't hold a room and hold space, it's very hard to share that knowledge. We also did a day on trauma-informed practice, and that's really, really special. It's a special way of working. Any throwouts there? Should I just keep talking?
For the you just keep talking. Sounds beautiful. Jackie.
Beautiful. But I think again with the choice and the decision making, it's a really important part of our work. And this is another one. Toward the end of a workshop, a writer quietly passed me something she'd written and didn't want to read out. It was an affecting piece, and when I went to the concert, it was read. I was so impressed with the way it had been handled. The writer had been able to record the story, and it was played over the top of a dance by 2 other artists. It filled my heart the way the directors had found a way to make it possible for her work to be shown in a way that worked for her. So yes, we are sharing these stories, but we try and do it in a safe and respectful way, in a way that can be received. And as I said at the beginning, you know, the more we can tell our stories and tell the truth, then maybe the better the community is going to get at receiving women back and understanding the journey they've been on. Yes, let's invest our funds in the other end.
Yeah.
Community. Right, so done our objectives. We are now going to talk a little bit about the lay. Yeah, the homegrown lay, another brilliant collaboration.
So this all comes down to the importance of reflection. Do you have a little tidbit for importance of reflection? Have you got a...
Yeah. We don't celebrate our wins, right? We forget to celebrate our wins, and it's so important to do. So what we do when we finish our day each day is we acknowledge all of the things we've done well and the things that we could do different, or the things that we could do better. So every year every project we have a paper lay, and I'll just get you to show this one, Lisa. It looks a bit messy, but it's actually got all the magic in it. Basically down here, every single day, each woman might have a prompt, and we will write that down on our lay. So for example, this day was possibilities, breathing, fresh air, exercise, colour, life. And this is just this year's one, but every single flower represents a different woman on a different project. And each week is separated by something like, it might be a shell. There's lots of shells on this one because we're connecting with the sea, but we've also got homemade beads. So our lay is really important to us. It's a way we can stop and also share the blessing with the world. But what we were thinking when we did a project, it was Project Tahi last year, was how can we give it a bit of a bling? How can we make it a little bit more permanent and sparkly? Because we want sparkles on everything. So, carried away. And then Anna, our incredible creative, came up with this beautiful, I was going to say contraption.
Machine,
the lay.
So this was Project Tahi last year, and basically we wanted something sturdy and durable so that when we have our home ground permanent home, we can stick this on the door to welcome people into our space. These are old canvas billboards that we all chopped up in beautiful little patterns. Some of them are beautifully hand sewn to make little pretty frilly pleats. The canvas billboards were then painted on by the Wahine participants, and each one of these has a message from, some of these are from probation officers, some of them are from the participants, and it is growing, and we would love to have you on this lay. So if you want to contribute,
you can.
Do we have a prompt for
any lay? Anyone? Shout out if anyone wants to contribute.
No lay yet, but can I ask a couple questions?
Sure.
A couple comments from people as well. So one question from the background, from chat. How do you build trust with your participants? Like, this is a big question, I understand. So just one thing from each of you, maybe what's one thing that you do that you think helps build trust with participants? That's important.
That's really important.
For me, that's being vulnerable and, like I was saying earlier, bringing humanity, knowing, set clear boundaries when you walk into the space, but being vulnerable and allowing their stories to affect you and sharing who you are.
Yeah, for me, consistency is key. Just like, don't be a dick. And, you know, a lot of us, like, trust is our core thing, man. And if we've had our trust smashed before, actually, you know, I don't know if they, you know, I think they can, we're pretty authentic. yeah, consistency is key for me. It's always trying to keep it real.
I think just listening and being open to any and everything that they may say. That's something that I do personally. Just being an open ear and judgment-free zone. You know, that's how I build trust with participants. Participants say if that's not true.
Yeah, might be other feedback. I think that's how we do it.
Another question from Dana McKay.
Yeah.
Apologies if I pronounce anyone's names wrong. Is there a possibility to bring this mahi to the South Island? There are communities here that would love to embrace this practice and process.
Oh, beautiful. Yes, South Island. Yes, absolutely. Always, Anna. That's your territory.
We're available for Southern Islanders to come on board with online projects now. We're ready for that, and this is what this is helpful for, is getting our name out there. We are a new project, and so the fact that we don't have our name in all of these centres is, I think that's why we're not there yet. So by all means, on our website there are links to be able to sign up for the next project coming up. But by all means, share our name.
Yeah. It's a process. You'll always get one of us. You'll find one of us around the place. But you know, I do think too, we do like to work slowly. Like we want to strengthen through connectedness. So we like to really invest in our relationships. We tend to work with the same people over years. We have participants that have been working with us since the pilot program. You know, that's how we roll. So we're not a fast grower, but hey, we've got quality. Quality. Right, what were we doing?
Questions.
Questions, sorry. Questions, or should I go back to my lay?
Keep doing the lay.
Doing my lay. So the lay.
Wait, while you're doing the lay, how did the lay come about? How did you start doing the lay? Or is it about the lay that's
Anita. Yeah. So it's Anita. So when we started the Homegrown project, we realised that you know, who are we to be working in this space? And we are women, we are mothers, we've survived trauma, we deal with grief, we believe in the power of women to change the world. But we also a real global crew. Anita repped a whole lot of beautiful mahi, and so her thing was she really wanted to represent something that was a global thing, and the lay is really a global representation, and it was about just something that belongs to everyone. Yeah, I guess that was.
And the lay is it's a symbol of love. It's often gifted, and it's often used in celebration. So the fact that we reflect on our wins is perfect.
Yeah. And so we, at the end of each day, 5 minutes. The end of each day, basically what we do is we'll write down our, I think that'll work for you. We write down what our biggest learning, I guess, from this time was. Now, we've just done almost an hour with you, just talking non-stop. So for me, I survived an hour of putting energy out into the universe post-COVID, projecting Homegrown. I hope you all received it beautifully with our loving heart intention. Thank you for your time and energy with us. So I am going to put thanks for time and energy, because that is precious in this day and age. Take it away. Someone else.
I think it's difficult, biggest learning. It's not my biggest learning because I know it already, that our community is out there supporting, but for someone to not want to be a dragon means that there's somebody watching who we love and we feel your love. So I think, our Homegrown whānau supporting us is like, I feel that.
Yeah, that's the magic.
There's so much love in chat, guys.
Thank you, everybody. That's good. We need the love.
We feel your love. I'll make sure they get your love, everyone.
What about you, Tana? What are you thinking?
I'm just greatest learning. I feel like just keeping it simple, remembering to keep it simple, and like you say, Anna, the people that are out there that matter. The reason we're doing this, that's how am I going to keep it simple?
Keep it simple. Yeah, sometimes our objectives, to laugh today. Turning up is the hardest part. Have fun. Eat some good clay. Like, that's the importance of community. Now, it shouldn't take a program to do that. Realistically, we wish we were redundant, but I think in our community, it's really important for us, for the participants, for our whānau. That's where the magic happens, is being there for each other. And I'm just going to put that on our beautiful lei. Oh, nice connection, yeah.
It gives me donut vibes.
Yeah, so I think we're getting there. We that is our magic we're sharing tonight. That is our beautiful lei. We do have one final offer to I guess share with you, and that is our song, which relates to our beautiful tāpeka.
More collaboration and community connection.
What do you? That'd be great if you could talk about Hūtia.
So Hūtia, I started with Homeground on Project Toru last year in October. And in that time, on my first week, I brought my wife, I brought my whānau to help support me, and with that, I also brought this waiata Hūtia, and I didn't write it. It's very well known, ngā mihi te Hirani Melbourne, for capturing the beautiful words. So basically, if you're not aware, Hūtia is about it's about strength through connectedness. It's one of our guiding principles. It's about the importance of people and the importance of community and connection. So that's the gist of it. But basically, if there was no root of the flax bush, then from where would the tui sing? And so it's very metaphorical and poetic, but it all comes back to people, community, and us being the most important thing. So,
yeah, let's do it. Shall we do it?
Let's just do it.
I'll just tell you.
Just like we started, we'll come back to our breath. Hakiroto. Hakiroto. Hūtia te rito o te harakeke, heira te komako e ko kima kia nui te mani o te naia maku e ki atu kia koe he tangata he tangata.
So, kia ora whānau. Thank you so much for your time, for your energy. May you be blessed. May you go forth with joy and abundance. And thank you so much to my awesome crew and crew at home. We love you. Travel safe. Ka kite. Back to you.
The foundation is built, called by the past, wrapped in the hope of tomorrow. The whare, it grows, wings spread, touching tips of shared sorrows, breaking falls, supporting walls. Each door bears a burden to be unlocked by keys of lost opportunity, closed shut, leading to new beginnings.
Kia ora anō e te whānau. Before I close us for this evening, first off, ka mihi atu ki a koutou, to our whānau at Homeground. Thank you for inviting us in and giving us some amazing insight on the incredible mahi that you do for our wahine across the country. It was amazing. Kia ora, kia ora, kia ora. to those of you who spent time with us this evening, it's an honour to be a part of this kaupapa and to be a part of this journey. Thank you for being here. Thank you for spending time with us. With my pōtai as kaiarahi for Te Ora Auaha, so I'm one of the guiding forces for Te Ora Auaha. There are a couple of acknowledgements I would like to make before we close. And one of those reasons is because we're starting to wind down on this series of webinars. So to Te Taumata Toi A Iwi, who has been on this journey with us since we started our first webinar last year, kia ora whānau. It's been an incredible journey to Auckland Life. Our kaimahi tonight who are working behind the scenes, making sure that we're on track and we're doing okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you, team. And personally, I have an acknowledgement to make to my friend, Carrie Ann Nelson. Kia ora, wahine toa. Thank you for the journey that we spent together, being able to build this pathway and to bring all of these amazing, amazing people to the light. We couldn't have done it without you. And to tie up, I was just thinking throughout this whole space, keeping in mind the idea and the ideal of giving light to our wahine toa, to our matriarchs. I'm going to leave you with a little whakatauki that was given to me 30 years ago by my mama. And the power is in the simplicity. Kaua e ware ware ko wai koe. Kaua e ware ware no hea koe. Never forget who you are. Never forget where you come from. Kia ora e te whānau, pō maria, ka kite.